Neil Carlson here with Kathy Obregon in Grand Forks. You've got some complaints about the jail. We're not going to use names here, but you have inside information. You have a relative who's an inmate. You talk to him often, visit.
Yes.
So let's talk about three different things. This week there was a attempted suicide.
Right.
And you're saying that happened because of retaliation because that inmate had complained about his attorney, and so
Yes.
they moved him to a different cell?
Yes. My brother's in there, and he had texted me shortly after it happened, and the young man and my brother and some of the other people in their cell had gotten friendly. They were on friendly terms, I should say, where sometimes you get people that don't do well together. These guys did. My brother had an attorney since he'd been there in jail. This young man happened to have the same attorney. My brother had voiced his concerns over what had happened to him. The young man decided he wasn't going to have him as an attorney. He notified his attorney. The attorney then called the jail twice and told them that my brother was strong-arming this young man and to get my brother moved. Instead, as I've seen happen, they moved this young man. They dragged him out of the cell, and he's screaming, "No, he didn't say that. I don't want to move. This is my cell. This is my cell."
And we're talking about the male who tried to commit suicide this
Yes.
week. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And that happened the next morning.
Okay.
And my brother had texted me and said that he thought he was dead. He said they had brought him out covered with a sheet.
He had tried to hang himself?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
And thank God. I mean, that he
made it.
survived. Yes, thank God.
Another incident, you said, and we should know that folks out there, you talk to your brother quite often or visit, and so that's where you're getting this information.
Yes.
But another incident a couple weeks ago, you said a inmate was brought in with frostbite. What happened there?
I'm a nurse, and so my brother knows that, and a lot of times he's had other inmates come and talk to me on camera when I visit him about whatever's going on medically with them. And this young man had been outside during that real cold spell we had when it was like 50 below or whatever it had gone out down to. And then he'd been brought into the jail there and was in the cell. And it was obvious that he had frostbite. His ear was all black on this ear all the way down. His cheek was blackened, and his fingers were blackened. Okay. And he complained of pain. You're going to hurt, with frostbite. And I would tell this young man every time I would talk to my brother, tell the nurse, you need to see the doctor. You need to see the doctor. It was about 2 weeks before the doctor had seen him and said, yes, we have to take off part of your ear. We have to take off part of your fingers.
And your problem with all this, that took 2 weeks to do?
Yes.
Okay.
2 more weeks for infection to set in, for him to be in pain. Pieces of his ear kept falling off, of his, as he's walking about. There's no sense to people having to suffer.
Well, one last incident here. You say your brother was beat up. Now, this isn't going to come as a shock to anybody. It happens in prisons and jails all the time. So what do you think is wrong with this situation?
My concern with a lot of these things is, okay, there were 2 cells open. My brother's was opened. One across from him was opened with 3 individuals in that cell. They both doors, the 3 individuals came into my brother's cell and took at least 10 minutes, his cellmate said, that they just beat on him. His eye had popped out of his socket. He had to put his own eye back in. I've got pictures for proof of his eyes, like 3 days later, and then on through the healing process. He still can't see right out of his one eye. He still has these white spots that go in front of his eye.
So
Where
you're
are
saying
the guards?
Better supervision?
Oh my God, yes. How can it take? First of all, what are 2 doors doing unlocked? They're not supposed to be unlocked unless the guards are there. Secondly, how can it take 10 minutes? You're supposed to have guards looking at these cameras all the time.
Okay.
How can it take that long for someone to come to break up this fight?
Okay.
How can it take that long for this man to devise a way to hang himself and to do it?
Okay.
And then the guards not get to him before.
And again, you're not saying these folks shouldn't be in jail. It's
No.
just you want better treatment.
I do. If this can help anybody from ending up in jail, that's what I want to do. And I think that if someone breaks a crime or does a crime, that yes, they should pay
Okay.
for that crime, but they shouldn't be treated as animals.
Okay. Okay.
Though
All right.
there's many more incidences of things there.
We'll leave it at that for now.
Yes.
And I should say, I do have a call into Brett Burkholder, the jail administrator, to respond to any complaints, so on and so forth. He hasn't responded back to me. If he does, we'll give him his chance to give his say. In Grand Forks, I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNews.tv.